Turn me up in the headphones. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Busy. Let's get into it.
Peace, love, and happiness, so I can grab the piece. Start wildin' and clapping shit. Running with the rock in the jungle before Jumanji, nigga. Knocks come to not get low. Be hard to find me, nigga. Back talk, depending on the size. There's levels, my guys. Call me a clown to have my 2 cents. Show you my Pennywise. You and me, mano we mano. Gangsta we gon' see. Call the Uber, bring me to you. Now this is who we eat. Serve a plate to get served, boy. I'll send the word, boy. Your youth start to shoot, work it back like you heard, old boy. That's a personal conversation between the guys. Looking at Diddy like who ordered lobster beside the fries. Still ghetto, you still feel away. We still handle our problems with the steel or metal. Real settle, Henny in your face, stand still, fellow. Pocket taps better to give than receive, so let nobody stack money.
Yeah, let's go. It's your boy DJ Duya in the building. And of course, Fire Rock's legend. The one and only Drew Keelan. Yo, Drew, is this your favorite time of the year?
Oh, definitely is. Definitely is. I love March Madness. There's nothing like it. You know what I mean? I love the Super Bowl too, but the NCAA tournament, to me, other than the Super Bowl, is the biggest event in sport.
I definitely. I mean, once it, I haven't been. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm more of an NBA guy, and I follow the kids that are highly, sought after as NBA talent. So that's how I kind of watch college basketball. I don't watch it the way I used to watch it, where I was locked in on all the top 25 basically. But now I kind of just watch the.
See, the difference with the NBA and March Madness, NBA is kind of predictable. The best teams are normally going to win.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the March Madness is unexpected. You get upsets. That's the beauty of it. You get your CINDERELLA. Those are great stories, compelling stories. So
let's get right into it. The East bracket. The East boys was in. They was in some trouble, man. I remember I posted. I was like, "Yo, Sienna's about to knock off Duke." But it was halftime and it was up 11. I think, now don't hold me to it, but I think this is the first time they said that number one overall seed was down double digits to a 16.
Yeah, that I'm not sure, but I can believe it. And Sienna did a heck of a job. They was close to really making history or creating history again. Jerry McNamara did a really good job giving those guys a chance to compete with Duke and win that game. Only thing I would say about that is McNamara, he only played his 5 guys.
Right.
He didn't sub nobody. So I think fatigue at the end kind of made it had a difference. He only put one guy at the last minute in for like 30 seconds. Right. So, but I guess McNamara went like, this is the guys that got us up here. We gonna stick with it. So that's the only thing. I think he could probably put some other guys in, some fresh guys in for a few minutes. But they almost made history the other day.
Yeah. So Duke goes on to beat Siena, 71-65. It was like Caden Boozer, right?
Right.
He was a 19. Yes, he scored 19. He had 5 assists. He shot 9 for 16 from the floor. He stepped up big and
Yeah, he definitely did, because they was playing off him. They was letting him shoot. That was the game plan, to let him shoot, let him beat us, and he made enough plays for him to get back in the game and win that game. So salute to Caden, because he's kind of the brother that is overlooked a little bit.
Right.
But he took his opportunity and made the best of it and made enough plays for them to win.
Yeah. So Duke moves on. Duke is going to be facing TCU. TCU edges out Ohio State 66-64. Were you able to get a hold of that game? I didn't see that game at all.
Yeah, so. I watched that game. TCU coached by Jamie Dixon. They pretty much controlled that game for the most part. Ohio State made a second half run to close the gap, to give themselves a chance to win, but TCU was able to finish it at the end. They're a tough team, athletic, older guys, so they should compete with Duke in this game. But I still like Duke to get past them.
The next game in the East region was a number 5 and number 12. That typically those are that's the area where the upsets happen, or in like a number 6 and the seed that they go against. But St. John's killed Northern Iowa 79-53, and I know you're pulling for St. John's to cut down the nets. So how did you feel about their first performance?
Oh, they played a heck of a game. They jumped on Northern Iowa right off the rip. St. John's thing is deep. They defend. They probably the best defensive team in the country.
Right.
And they jumped on them early. They was up maybe like 20-3 at within the first 5 minutes of the game.
I saw that.
So they jumped on them. I don't think Northern Iowa was expecting that or was prepared for that kind of blitz. But Pitino had those guys ready to go. Zuby Ejiofor played a solid game. Big East Player of the Year. He should have been All-American. But St. John's is looking good. I'm looking forward to that next game with them.
So St. John's is going to be going up against the number 4 seed in the East region, Kansas, who they had an up and they're not the Kansas I know.
Right.
This year. They're coming in of number 4 in the East region. I'm used to Kansas being the number 2, number 1. But you're the scout. So you're saying that they got probably a top 2, 3, the lowest on the NBA draft scale.
Oh yeah, Darren Peterson, he's projected by most to go number 1.
Right.
In the draft. And he showed it yesterday. He had 28 points yesterday, put on the show against California Baptist. And this is not a traditional Kansas team as far as wins and losses. They're not as good as past teams, but they do have the talent.
They do have talent.
They do have talent. They got Melvin Consul. He's from upstate New York. He's an upstate New York kid. He's a pretty good guard. You got Flory Badunga, the big guard, the big man. He's a rim protector. So they got some kids definitely on that team. They just been up and down. And I'm looking forward to that game tomorrow against St. John's. That could go either way, I think.
And then, if I had to, we got Pitino. We have, because a lot of I'm going to say like the long-standing coaches that, we grew up watching Coach K, Bobby Knight. Those guys have, rest in peace to Bobby Knight. Coach K is retired. Jimmy Boeheim is retired. But I'm going to put Bill Self up there.
Absolutely.
Roy's retired. But for me, it's like Caleb. I'm saying the coaches with the most, I want to say, I don't want to even say fanfare, but like the most known coaches: Bill Self, Tom Izzo, Calipari, and I'll throw in somebody else I'm forgetting. Who am I forgetting?
Caleb. Right now, that's coaching right now. Pitino's up there.
Pitino, there we go. Pitino. That's exactly who I was forgetting. So those is like the 4. I think I put pretty much on the last show we did. I put those 4 as the faces of, because to me,
and Danny Hurley's up there as well.
He's creeping up there, definitely. I wouldn't put him. He doesn't have that long-standing,
right.
With that particular team, but or just NCAA. Pitino been there since the 90s, bro. You know what I mean?
The 80s.
Right.
He took Providence to the Final Four in 87.
87. Damn. See, I thought it was. I thought it was 90, but yeah, you're right.
87. That's how he got the Knicks job.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me just say we got somebody. And shout out to my boy Corey Carpenter. He's a Jayhawks fan. He's always for his Hawks. So all right, so St. John's and Kansas, great matchup, man. Two programs that I would see. I like when we get down to where
right.
You know, I wouldn't call St. John's a blue blood, but with Patino on the bench, it almost makes you that.
See, St. John's, St. John's has a lot of history,
right?
So, you know, from like the old '60s, '70s, and '80s, and early '90s. So many people remember them great days like that. But then they like the past 30 plus years, they've been up and down. So they haven't really made no runs. So most people like that's younger, they're not gonna remember them old St. John teams. You know what I'm saying?
But they really had that I remember was like what Eric Barkley, Artest,
right?
Like the real last. I mean, and you want to go back before that, Mark Jackson and Chris Mullin.
But the last, like you said, with the '99 team when they almost went to the Final Four, and then the team in 2000, when they was like a high seed and they lost early. Yeah. That was like with Eric Barkley and those guys. You know, but they had teams afterwards. Like Steve Lavin had some good teams.
Oh, yeah, Steve Lavin did have some good teams.
But they just didn't go deep into the tournament. You know, but Patino is doing a heck of a job.
So let's Louisville in South Florida. Louisville edges them out 83-79. That was one of the games where I was thinking that we would see an upset.
I thought they would. Right, I thought South Florida would win that game because Louisville didn't have their best player, Michael Brown, who's projected a top 10 pick. So I thought South Florida would, be able to pull that one off, but Louisville, the guys made enough plays to win that game.
So then we'll move on to Michigan State. Michigan State is always dangerous in the NCAA tournament. How many Final Fours has I only remember them they won one time. I know with like Mateen.
They won in 2000 and they ain't won since, but they've been to several national championship games.
I feel like if you get to the Final Four, that's like a championship.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, obviously it's not the national championship. You don't get that the gold in the wood but you cutting down the nets. You get to the Final Four.
That's a big deal. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So he's been to several Final Fours. Like I said, Tom Izzo, he's something, man. He's something to reckon with in the tournament.
Izzo's a staple in college basketball. He's one of the great coaches of the last 25, 30 years. You know, when you think of college basketball, Izzo is one of the first coaches you think of, him and his program.
So then we go to probably, not really in our lifetime. The last time they've won was with Ed O'Bannon and Charles O'Bannon, Toby Bailey, 1995. But UCLA is probably the most storied basketball team in the NCAA. So they won 75-71 over UCF. I had UCF up. I wish Dior Johnson would have still been on there for this year, but I thought they was going to pull out the upset, but they,
Yeah, I had them probably pulling out the upset as well, but I did look at their game. They struggled towards the end of the season because I initially had UCF winning their game, but then I saw their schedule. In the last few games, they struggled, so I went ahead and went with UCLA. Like you said, UCLA is a storied program, so they always going to have players,
right?
And future pros, and they got a couple guys that's probably going to play.
We're just recruiting wise. I'm gonna ask you because you would know better than me. Recruiting wise, they're the best. Are they like the best team, like west of the Mississippi? Or would you say USC has stepped up a lot? Oh, Arizona too. Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona probably right now, but UCLA is not that far.
Okay.
Or far away. You know what I mean? From Arizona. But Arizona's probably getting the top. It's probably Arizona, UCLA, and surprisingly, I would probably say Gonzaga.
Yeah, that's true. I forget about them. Because
Gonzaga be getting kids. So
they definitely do. I don't know. Mark Fewer. but they definitely really pushed themselves up. Because like when back in the day, I only knew John Stockton from there.
Yeah, because I mean the last 20 years, Gonzaga's a staple.
Right, they're
a great program. He get kids and he developed it because some of those kids is not even highly recruited kids, so that means his development of players is really good.
Yeah, and I mean like he had Drew Timmy. Well, Drew Timmy stayed like 4 years. Did he stay 4 years?
Yeah. Timmy stayed 4 years, but recently when he got Chet Holmgren was a top 5 kid in the country.
I mean, he was heavily touted.
Right.
Growing up, like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Him and the what's the guard that's on Orlando Magic now? Jalen. Him.
Yeah. Suggs went there. You're right.
He's like a top 20 kid. So he got kids over the years.
All right, so this is our last one. In the East bracket, UConn, they first faced Furman. I mean, 82-81. UConn's over. I mean, the spread was 11.5. So they just missed the spread. But what did you think about UConn?
I thought UConn would beat them by a bigger margin, but give a shout out to Furman for coming out, competing, ready to play. But Tarish Reed has had the performance of the tournament so far. He had 31 points, 27 rebounds last night.
God damn, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he had a heck of a game. I was
going to save that for the end. Who's like the most outstanding player for the first round?
Well, there's been some other guys too, but 31 points and 27 rebounds is big time. I don't care who the opponent is.
So facts. Before we move on to the next region, so we got Duke and TCU. Who do you like in that matchup?
I like Duke.
St. John's and Kansas.
I'm gonna go with my Johnny. I think Johnny's is rolling high right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas win. But I think St. John's is playing a little bit better than Kansas right now, and I think they continue it.
All right. And Louisville versus Michigan State.
Michigan State. I think Michigan State gets the best of Louisville.
UCLA and UConn.
UConn. I'm gonna go UConn.
All right. So let's move on to the South region of the defending champions, Florida Gators. They put a whooping on Prairie View, man. Something you might do on a video game. 114-55. I mean, there's really nothing to really say too much.
Right. I'm gonna say something real quick about Florida. That's not surprised, but a lot of people has been complaining about HBCU schools always getting the 16 seeds. Yeah. And they feel like, some people have been feeling like HBCU teams be getting picked on. But if you want a better seed, when you do these non-conference games, a lot of HBCU schools play like the big schools for funding reason. You got to compete better.
I agree.
When you play these big schools, you got you can't get blown out like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's something I just kind of want to bring up because a lot of people were saying, why is the HBCU schools always the 16 seed? Because when you play these big schools, look at the outcome.
Right.
You know what I mean? No shade. I'm an HBCU guy, but
me too.
Yeah, but you gotta be realistic.
So then we got Clemson and Iowa, the 8 and 9 seed. That could always go either way. So
I thought Clemson would win that game.
Did you?
I thought they would. That was a good win by Iowa. I didn't watch a lot of that game, but I thought Clemson would. But Clemson has a hard time scoring the ball, and that was the issue yesterday. Iowa just made enough plays to pull that off. Iowa pulled it out 67-61. Then number 5 verse 12 in the the South region is Vanderbilt versus McNeese State. Vanderbilt ended up winning by 10. What did you think about the Commodores, right? Right. Well, I've seen Vanderbilt a few times. They got a lot of older guys. They got a kid. The Tanner kid can really fill it up. And they got a nice supporting cast around him. So I thought they would beat McNeese State in that game. Now the game next when they play Nebraska should be a good one.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vanderbilt made it to the Sweet 16. To be honest with you.
Oh no, not at all. I think Nebraska will. I think Nebraska will beat them. I was going to win that game.
Okay.
Nebraska's had a pretty good team this year. So I like them to beat Vanderbilt in that game.
Okay. So that speaks of Nebraska, number 4 in the South region. They faced Troy, and they put a whooping on Troy, 76-47. Who's like the main guy from Nebraska?
They got several guys. Well, Fred Hoiberg, former NBA coach, he's the guy. And then one of his key players on his team is actually his son. He's not the best player on his team. Okay. I don't have their names right in front of me, but they've been playing well. They started off the season like 21-0.
Yeah, from their team, nobody Price Sanderford.
Right, Sanderford's a pretty solid player.
Yeah, he scored 23. Jamarcus Lawrence 13, and that's right. I mean, they was pretty well.
It's a like a well balanced kind of team.
Yeah.
One of those type of. But they started off the season really, really well. Like I said, they went 20-0, 21-0 initially, and then they kind of, when they got into conference play, they kind of like was up and down.
Damn. So then we had probably the other than High Point, this is probably the biggest upset that we've seen in the first round. Number 6 North Carolina going up against number 11 VCU, Virginia Commonwealth. VCU was down by 20 and was able to rally back and win. And it went into, did it go into overtime?
It did go into overtime.
So 82-78, they won in overtime. Just talk about that game.
I mean, credits to VCU for continuing to play a full 40 minutes game to get back into it. North Carolina really controlled it the first 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
But VCU continued to fight and made plays. They made adjustments too. They started pressing Carolina some to force turnovers. And then I can't remember the player's name that got really, really hot.
Terrence Hill.
He got really, really hot. They got them back in the game. And I think what Hubert Davis could have did, he could have made some better adjustments. Defending him, they kept guarding him one-on-one. Instead of maybe throwing some double teams at him on some traps to get the ball out of his hand. Hubert didn't do that. And I think that kind of caused them. And then on the offensive end, they wasn't in sync. A lot of turnovers at the end that caused that game. It was a disappointing loss for Carolina. I thought Carolina at least would win 2 games in the tournament. But when you blow a 19-point lead, and them not having their best players is not an excuse. They was playing well enough to win that game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now I don't think Hubert Davis should get fired. A lot of people were saying Hubert Davis should get fired. I don't think he should get fired. He definitely should be on the hot seat though. But I think he's done. I thought he did a great job this year with this team. Honestly, he had a lot of big wins.
Yeah, I don't think that I wouldn't get him out of there yet.
No, he beat Kansas. He beat Kentucky at Kentucky. He beat Ohio State. He beat Duke.
Right.
So he had some really good wins this year.
So the next one we got is Illinois going up against Ivy League champ Penn. That's the 3 versus 14. Illinois put the BTAs to the belt on them. 105-70. What did you think about that one?
I didn't watch too much of that game, but I knew Illinois would overpower them. They got 2 NBA guys in Keaton Wiegler and Andre Shayakovich. Those guys are both going to play in the league.
That's right. Shayakovich goes there. That's right.
Right. So I knew that talent was going to be too much for Penn.
Okay. So yeah, we'll talk about them in VCU when we give our predictions for the next round. For this upcoming round. St. Mary's and Texas A&M. St. Mary's was the number 7 seed. Texas A&M 10. Texas A&M gets the W, 63-50. That was. I just watched the score. I didn't really tune into the game, but it was a little surprised at how they handled the game.
I thought St. Mary's would win that game. St. Mary's had a really good year. And Texas A&M was, they was up and down throughout the season. But that tells you that, St. Mary's was a first or second place team in their league. And then Texas A&M was like at the in the middle of the SEC, and they
Right.
control. You know what I mean? That tells you is levels to this. You know what I mean? The middle of the pack team in the SEC can beat your best. You know, and they showed it the other day.
Mid-major, yeah.
Right. St. Mary's is a pretty good team, but Texas A&M pretty much controlled that game.
Do you think here was a question that I seen, just floating around, maybe on the internet, Twitter, or maybe it was from one of the TV shows. But do you think that the mid-majors should schedule some of the bigger teams to get bigger seeds?
I mean they do, but the thing is they they do that. But the mid-major teams be wanting them home games,
Right?
And the big schools, they don't feel like it. Why are we going to tee up? What's the benefit in that?
Yeah.
So it's hard for them to schedule the big schools and get home games.
Mm.
They'll get a neutral game maybe and stay in the tournament, or they'll get a road game. But a Power 4 school is not going to really ever go to that level.
I can see them saying, "Yo, yeah, I mean, we know we're probably going to lose to y'all. We're not scared to schedule you, but we want the concessions. We want the parking. We want the ticket sales of y'all coming. Because if you get, let's say, a Florida to pull up, it's like, that's a defending national champion. That's going to bring it out. That's going to cause stir. So I could see why they would want the home game. I'm not saying it from the other side. I would give it to them, but I could see why they would pull for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the next game, the final game in that region, we got Houston against Idaho. I don't know. I never know Idaho. It was a 2-15. Houston was one of my picks last year to go to the Final Four. What did you think about this game?
Didn't watch too much of it, but I watched Houston several times throughout the season. There's no surprise there. Houston is, they one of the premier teams in the country. I like them to go deep in the tournament. So, I'm not. I know Kingston Flynn had around like 18.6 assists, okay. And he's a heck of a player. But there's no surprise right there at all with that game.
Not at all. No surprise at all. So. In the South region, we got Iowa against Florida. Who do you like in that one?
I like Florida. I like Florida big in this one, actually. I think they win by 15 plus.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to get it back up on the screen. Just give me a second. Who else do we got? Give me 1 second. Vanderbilt and Nebraska is next.
Right, that's going to be a good one, but I like Nebraska to pull that one off.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I like Nebraska. Nebraska, I think they got the team. They shoot the ball well. When they hot, they're kind of hard to stop. Now, that game could go either way, but I think Nebraska pulls that one out.
Okay. I like Vanderbilt. I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. I'm going to take Vanderbilt in that one. VCU and Illinois, that's my Cinderella, man. They got the glass slipper for me, VCU. But I mean, like as you could see, I don't know if you could see in there, Illinois is
11-point favorite.
11-point favorite going into it. So
yeah, I think the size of Illinois is going to affect VCU. I mean, they got the bigs are real big. The guards are, Keaton Wiggins like a 6'5", 6'6" point guard.
Wow.
And so Yakovich is about 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
So I think the size is going to have an impact against VCU, and that's going to cause them to lose that game.
Yeah. Okay. And the final game in the second round, Houston versus number 10 Texas A&M. Houston's favored by 10.5. What do you think about that?
I think this game's gonna be a little bit closer than that, but I do like Houston. I think Houston will win, but that could be like a one possession kind of game. I think.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's get over to. This is the West bracket. The one of the teams that was number one throughout the year, Arizona. I was pulling for man. I was pulling for Rod, man. You know, Brooklyn. I wanted to see LIU, but geez, 258. It just didn't happen.
Well, like I said, shout out to Ross Strickland. He's one of my favorite guards growing up.
Right.
Ross Strickland's a great coach. I don't know if people realize he's built this program, but he was responsible for a lot of those guards that came up out of Kentucky throughout the years with John Calipari.
I didn't know that.
He was on Kentucky's staff for a long time. He developed like Derrick Rose and John Wall and all them guards that came through Kentucky. A lot of that.
I know Kyrie Irving. He is really close with him, and I think it's his godfather.
Right. Kyrie's dad and Rod, they're from the same area in the Bronx.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So Ross Strickland's a legend in the coaching profession.
I didn't know that. So we got Villanova getting beat by Utah State 86-76. What did you think about that one?
Not really surprised. I watched Villanova a lot this year. They was inconsistent. They got they got a solid group, but I just watched them at least about 5 or 6 times, and they was always up and down. They had some pretty good wins. Utah State's a pretty good team. That game was pretty good though. They went back and forth, but Utah ran away with it like the last 3 or 4 minutes. I think was able to pull it off. That game was a lot closer than that score. Well, 10 is not terrible, but it was back and forth for a large amount of the time.
Pretty big upset here, or a surprising, I should say, upset was Wisconsin going down to High Point with the 83-82 1-point win for High Point. What did you think about this game?
Yeah, that's a big upset because Wisconsin, I thought would make get to the Sweet 16. They controlled that game. They was up pretty big, and at High Point, like similar to VCU, kept fighting, made enough plays, got back into it, and took the lead and won the game. And credit to them because I didn't think they would beat Wisconsin.
I saw because they kept cutting to their coach, and he was fired up, man.
Right.
I forget his name, man, but I think Barkley was like, man, I think I got one more year eligibility.
Yeah, right. I heard that. I heard him say that. Right.
All right, so we got Arkansas. This is out of this region, it's the West, out of the West region. I'm taking Arkansas to get to the Final Four, so I'm gonna go with them boys. But what did you think about Arkansas versus Hawaii?
So they took care of business. Darius Cuff made good plays, enough plays that he's been his normal self. VJ Wagner was pretty good. Malik Thomas is a pretty good player. He's kind of overshadowed by Cuff. But he can really play. He can really shoot it, and he's an NBA player as well. I like him a lot. I think they'll take care of business today against High Point.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. This was the one for the people that wagering and putting money on the tournament, and I feel like this was the biggest bracket buster right here. BYU going down to Texas. High NBA draft lottery pick or top pick. I'm not going to say lottery pick. Top pick. AJ DeBonta. He had a great showing, I thought, man.
He played a heck of a game. He showed. He made it look easy at times.
Right.
Scoring like the first 10 minutes of that game, he was phenomenal. And he showed. Like I said, I personally think he should be the number 1 pick in the draft. That's his ceiling is through the roof. I see a lot of Tracy McGrady. I even see Dominique Wilkins from an athletic standpoint. I see a lot, in him. I think he's going to be a star within the next 2 or 3 years. And unfortunately, BYU, I don't really think that game was an upset because, BYU's been up and down throughout the season, similar to Texas. Texas struggled. I know, and Texas has enough athletes to compete with anyone in the country. They just, wasn't consistent enough with the wins. But they got a good enough athletic players and athletes to compete with anybody. They're going to give Gonzaga a run today.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that in a second. Gonzaga, against Kennesaw State, 73-64. What did you think about that one?
I watched it. Kennesaw State held their own. They was fighting. They gave a fight with Gonzaga. They were trying to pull it off. Gonzaga was just a little bit too much for them, and took care of business. But shout out to Kennesaw State though. They definitely gave Gonzaga a little run in that game.
Which conference are they in?
They're in the Atlantic Sun.
Okay.
Yeah, they got teams like Jacksonville's in there. I can't think of the other teams off the top of my head, but they play in the Atlantic Sun League.
Okay. So then you had Miami going up against Missouri. Miami is ranked 7 in their bracket, and Missouri 10. Miami won handily, 80-66.
So I watched that game. That game was kind of close. It
was close?
Yeah, they got away at the end.
Okay.
That game, Miami was up for the most part, but Missouri was sticking around. Miami just kind of like the last 2 minutes made enough plays for the spread to escalate a little bit. Jay Lucas, and I brought this up in the last show, should be considered for National Coach of the Year, what he's done at Miami. He's done a heck of a job at Miami. Miami won 7 games last year, and for them to win 25 games this year, that's a great start. So Jay Lucas has done a heck of a job at Miami this year.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I knew a little bit about Miami is I watched like the Dan Le Batard show, and they talk about, they're from Miami, so they talk. They've been heavily like on Miami basketball, as well as the football team, of course, all year. So
Miami basketball has been a pretty good program over the last
right.
So they went to the Final Four about 3 or 4 years ago. So
and they thought that they were gonna, kind of make the jump. But I like this team this year. I mean, I forgot the old coach name, but he's a name. I can't remember his name neither.
Well, they went to the Final Four, but this would made him retire though, because a lot of those guys on that team that went to the Final Four, he thought it was going to come back, try to make another run, but a lot of those guys went in the portal for NIL, and that just took a toll on them. Like, come on now. Like, but I understand. I mean, I can't knock the kids. They want to make more money.
Right. Who's going to tell me that I can't go to another job if they paying me more money? You know what I'm saying? So
but a lot of coaches are having a hard time dealing with that.
Right.
So,
yeah, because they stuck in, a lot of coaches are stuck in
their
ways, you know what I mean? Especially in college and high school, they, the coaches rule with an iron fist in a lot of
Absolutely.
ways. So the final game in that bracket is Purdue versus Queens. Where the hell's Queens? Where is that?
Queens is in North Carolina.
Okay, North Carolina. Damn, North Carolina got a lot of teams, bro.
Right.
What the hell? Damn. So Purdue wins 104-71. Any major thing
we're belt to ass right there. Belt to ass. Purdue took care of business. No, I do want to give Queens credit again because they was a Division II program about 2 or 3 years ago.
Wow.
So for them to be a Division I program and make it a tournament within a 5-year period, it's impressive.
Yeah, that definitely is impressive. So yeah, that was the Midwest. Let's go back through. That was just the West, right?
That was the West.
Yeah, that's the West. We'll get to the Midwest, but let's go through today's and tomorrow's games. So we got Arizona versus Utah State. Who do you like in that game?
I like Arizona. Arizona's one of the top 2-3 teams in the country. I think they continue to play like that and get past Utah State. Right.
Bryce James waving his towel.
They got jokes on social media talking about Bryce James is declaring for the
to go to the NBA. Yo, I saw that.
And
I'm really surprised that Arena's son didn't go to Arizona.
He's ball dominant, so he probably went somewhere where he can get enough shots and things like that.
You think that you hearing anything from him for him? I know he had that car accident. Being an NBA like a first round pick.
He's a first round guy. I don't know if he's going to declare.
Yeah.
Some people got him as a lottery. I don't. I got him more like in the teens to 20s. Right. But he's going to be a good NBA player though. He
was a second round pick, but
he was second round.
Really first round talent, but he it was kind of a knucklehead. So
right. He the interview process kind of messed him up back in the right. But his son.
I remember them. They played in the final. I think they played in the championship.
They lost to Duke in 01.
Yeah. First Jay Williams in them, right?
Right.
Yep. All right. So then we got High Point going up against Arkansas. Coach Cal and the boys. What do you think about this? And then Arkansas is 11.5-point favorite. Who was on that other game? What was the spread? Same thing. 11.5. All right. What do you think about this one?
I like Arkansas. High Point. No, I like Arkansas. I think Arkansas is going to beat them pretty
handily. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I think Arkansas. Arkansas got some. They don't play a lot of guys, but the 7, 8 guys they do play are explosive.
Right.
And they could turn it up a notch. So I could see them taking care of business and winning by 20 in this game.
Next game is Texas versus Gonzaga. Gonzaga's favored by 6.5. What do you like?
I like Gonzaga, but this game is going to be a close one. I think I can see Texas is kind of hot right now.
In them, man. From what I was watching, and I watched that Texas game versus BYU, I could see Texas beating them, man.
Right, Texas, yeah. But I'm gonna go with Gonzaga, but
yeah,
Texas and they're kind of rolling right now, and
right.
This game is gonna be close.
Right time.
Right, and so I could see Texas pulling up, but I'm gonna go with the Zags.
This is a tough one too. Miami against Purdue. Who do you like in this one? Purdue's a 7.5-point favorite.
This is I like this one is tricky. I can see this going. I think Miami's gonna cover the spread for one.
Okay.
And I'm thinking Miami could pull this one. No, I'm gonna just go with Purdue. I think Purdue with the experience. They got a lot of experienced guys. And I'm gonna just go with that. I think that's gonna play a part in this game. I think they're gonna edge Miami, but it's gonna be closer than most people think.
Yeah, I'm gonna take. If I had to, I'm a betting man. I was gonna say if I wasn't betting, I'm a betting man. So I'm gonna take Miami with the spread, but I'm also gonna. I want to see them win that game. So not to say that they are gonna, but I'm rooting for them to win it, and I'm rooting for them with the spread. And then let's get over to the Midwest region. We got Michigan. They had a great season this year, man. They take care of Howard, 101-80. But it's good to see. It's good to see DC in the building and playing go and all that.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, shout out to shout out to all the HBCUs. You want to see them do well. Michigan, they can win the national title, honestly. So they wasn't even trying to him.
Yeah, I like them to make it to the Final Four at least. We'll see when they get there, or if they get there, who they face. But yeah, they can definitely.
For sure.
St. Louis and Georgia. What did you think about this game? I think you watched that game.
Yeah, I did, and I follow the Georgia schools as well a lot, and Georgia. Georgia was very disappointing. Very disappointing. I wasn't surprised that St. Louis won this game, and I had Georgia winning, but the way they won this game, was very surprising. Georgia was very disappointing. Those guys. The first 2 or 3 minutes of the game, I was like, "Oh, this might be a long night." I saw it, and they just didn't show up. This is the second year in a row they got knocked out and got smacked in the first round, and very disappointing for the Bulldogs.
We got number 5 and number 12 Akron against Texas Tech. Number 5, 91-71. I I thought Akron would be one of the teams that could pull off the upset. Not saying that I knew anything about them. I just, like I said, with those 5 and 12s, those are usually upsets.
Yeah. Texas Tech is missing a key player.
Okay.
And JT Toppin.
He's out.
He's out. Yeah, Toppin's been out for a while now.
That's right. You did say that in the game.
He's been out, but they got the point guard Christian Williams or Christian Anderson. The point guard, he's an NBA player. He can go. He can go, and he's raised his level of play up some since Toppin has been hurt. So, they've been playing well, and looking forward to that next game with Alabama.
Yo, it's so crazy because it's like, let's say you at the high school level, right? And then if you have a D1 kid, that kid is amazing. You got a D1 kid. Shit, if you're in a high school, you got a D2 kid. He's gonna be pretty damn good.
Right.
And then when you get to D1 and there's an NBA player on these rosters, that's why I would never disrespect the NBA players, bro. They are so fucking good at this game. It's like people really don't understand how good NBA players are.
Nah, NBA players make it look easy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They make it look easy. You know what I mean? Whether they're an elite player, like a skillful player, or they're elite athletes. Because a lot of players make the league because they're elite athletes. But you got the ones that's really skilled players, like a Carmelo Anthony. He make it look easy out there. Or Shea Gilchrist. One of them type of players.
Right.
I mean, all of them do, but the superstars make it look real easy.
Oh my God. Yeah. So what did we leave off at? Alabama versus Hofstra, Long Island, in a building.
Hofstra was holding their own for a little bit.
Were they? Okay.
Yeah, they was holding their own. I watched that game. Yeah, they was holding their own.
I used to live over there. Had many nights partying with people from Hofstra. So
right.
Yeah.
No, that game. I mean, it got away at the end, but Hofstra. No, it wasn't a blowout until maybe the last 5 minutes of the game, and LeBaron Filan, who's going to be a first round pick probably. Hofstra had a hard time guarding him. Really, he can get to his spots whenever he wants. So he kind of took over at the end, and Alabama pulled it out.
Tennessee and Miami of Ohio. I was pulling for Miami of Ohio. They were at number 11, Tennessee number 6. They were undefeated, and they during the regular season, and they lost their first game in the conference tournament. But a lot of people didn't want to really see them in it, so I wanted them to kind of make a run just to,
I mean, I thought the game against SMU, when they beat SMU, to me that validated they should have made the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and they got 30 wins. If you don't make the tournament and you win 30 games,
right?
That's something wrong with that.
Yeah, 27, you should be on damn near a lot.
Right. So, but they made the tournament. They got to win. They played against Tennessee. Tennessee beat them like this. They best played them and score a point. Native Mint,
he's the top 10 pick you were talking about.
Right.
He didn't score?
He didn't score.
Wow.
He's inconsistent, so I've watched him a lot this year.
Yeah.
I watched him live. He's up and down. His skill set is crazy, but he is up and down.
That's interesting. That's crazy. When you got your best player not scoring and still winning handily like that, that's crazy. I know he's gonna come out crazy against Virginia. Because as a competitor, you don't want to not score.
Right.
I've seen my son play in the game and he didn't score. The next game, he's looking for it. He's
ready to go. Right.
Yeah. So we got Virginia versus number 3, Virginia versus number 14, Wright State, 82-73. Cavaliers have always been a great program. So what did you think about that game?
The Cavaliers, they made enough plays. That game was Wright State was sticking around. They had the lead for in some parts of the game, and was really giving Virginia a run. Virginia, like I said, made enough plays at the end, to be able to win this game. But Wright State definitely gave them a fight and run for their money.
Yeah. Okay. Number 7, Kentucky versus Santa Clara. Steve Nash's alma mater. They come in at the number 10 seed. Me and my wife went to like a happy hour yesterday, and this is the game that it was like on the screens, and this was a hell of a game, man. I mean, I was a little bent by the end of it.
this was the game of the first round.
Yeah,
right here, Kentucky. Santa Clara, they was 2 seconds away from winning the game.
Yeah.
And then Ortega Owe made that miracle shot, went in, and then they dominated the OT. You know
I feel like stuff like that, man, is what propels you, and like,
right,
you could go on a run from something like that. It's, I don't know, I don't want to say it's destiny or whatever, but things like that, when that happened, it just shows you that the basketball gods may be in your favor. So then we got Iowa State versus Tennessee State. Tennessee State's a HBCU, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So 108-74. Before you talk about what do they have to? What does the HBCUs have to do to compete more? Do you think? I know we spoke about it a little bit earlier, but can do.
Well, the thing with HBCUs is do they have the resources to really recruit to compete with these schools at a high level, and a lot of them don't. So that comes to recruiting. You know what I mean? There's some talented kids on HBCU levels, and these HBCU schools, they play a lot of they do it because it helps with funding. You play a big school, you might get $1 million for the game.
Wow.
So.
And they need that.
So they need that. So they play those big games, but in those big games, it's always like a 25+ loss.
Right. And I mean, a lot of these HBCUs, they want to put more money into the band.
Right.
Players.
You know what I mean? So when it comes to HBCU, when you compete against these power schools, you got to perform better.
Right.
And if you perform better during the regular season, I think you would probably maybe get maybe a 13 or 14 seed or something like that, instead of a 16 seed, that kind of thing. And I also think they need to approach maybe recruiting better. You know what I mean? Some of the schools maybe not recruiting at a high level as they can. You know what I mean? Bring some of these international kids over, like the other school, like the schools that's not getting the 5-star kids, they're getting the kids from overseas to come in.
That's a good point.
Right. You can do stuff like that.
I mean, I know it's a little different in the NBA. Or is there an NBA Hall of Famer that's a coach that could do like a Coach Prime and go to a HBCU in the basketball realm and bring like a lot of light to an HBCU? Well,
Prime, it's tough because Prime is one of a kind. Prime is not only a legend, but he has the personality.
Right.
Like he can go into a family living room and light it up and talk. Everybody don't got the talk, the personality and talk. Talk and recruit. Everybody can't get a Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter was the number 1 player in the country.
Right. I mean,
he wasn't
Florida State. I was upset.
Right.
He was going Florida State.
Right. So that in alone says enough. I mean, because NBA guys do normally coach at HBCUs, but you ain't got that magic like Prime do. It's kind of hard,
Yeah. Oh damn! I'm trying to think. I can't really think of anybody like.
Because you got for example, you got like Mo Williams. Mo Williams coaches at I think Jackson State.
Okay.
Mo Williams played in the league for a while.
He did. So, he's an all-star. He's an all-star. But I'm saying like a top 50 player, somebody with, or maybe not even necessarily a.
It's hard because you gotta. Magic Johnson probably he's up there. I mean, I don't know.
He's up there in age. That's that's like, it's off topic. But my uncle, I'm talking to my uncle. and we was talking about Wemby, and he's like, man, they need to get Kareem in there with him and show him a hook shot. I said, man, Kareem is 90 years old.
Oh, right. Right.
What are you talking about?
Now, Wemby good money right now. I don't think he needs that money.
Yeah, no, that was he's something, man. He's definitely something. So wait, all right. What about? We're gonna get off that topic in a second, but we're gonna finish it up. We got about 10 minutes left. Let's say, he's too up there now in age. I was gonna say a Hubie Brown, but like somebody let's say, trying to think of a great coach, and I know this would never happen. So it's not even really worth bringing. Let's just say a championship coach like what's the coach of the Celtics? What's his name? I done forgot his name now. I wanted to say Brad Stevens, but he's up in the up. He's the GM now. It's not Brad Stevens. I done forgot his name. Hold on. But what about him? I'm saying, could he? I forget what school he played for. West Virginia. But let's say he went to HBCU and tried to turn around the program. I just think maybe that's not even a good example. But the one thing like that, you wouldn't be able to get an NBA guy because you can't pay him. They don't have the resources to be able to pay him right at a high level like that. You know what I mean? That's one thing. So somebody like him. He's gonna want a couple $1 million. Right. And it's not like he's been in the league for forever making, real a lot of money. And I was gonna say like maybe a Steve Kerr, but it's gonna have to really be like a black coach that would do it. So right. But my main thing is with the NBA guys, because a lot of NBA guys in general struggle at the college level. That's true. That's true. A lot of them struggle at the, they struggle. That's even in college football. A lot of them struggle. That's true. Look what Belichick's going through in football. Right. It's still early with him, so I'm right. But he's struggling too. I give guys maybe 2 or 3 years, but a lot of those guys. But I think the thing is, you gotta recruit at this level. You gotta recruit. You gotta build relationships. It's all about recruiting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Development is good too. You got it, but you need some guys that could come in and make an impact right away, and that comes with recruiting. So you got to be able. What's the main ingredient to like a great recruiter? What comes with that? Being able to is it the charisma? Is it recognizing players from 9th grade, 8th grade, 7th? You know what I mean? What is it? That's the part, identifying kids early and building that relationship with those kids. Yeah. Building a relationship with the parents and the high school and AAU coaches, really the AAU coaches. Okay. And you want to build that relationship with them. And you in your product, your team's gotta be playing well. If you're recruiting a kid like for example, AJ DeBonsa. Yeah. Okay. A lot of schools, not a lot, but it was Carolina and Auburn was on them. But he went to BYU because the head coach, Kevin Young, was an NBA guy. And he wanted to be coached by an NBA guy. You know what I mean? That makes sense. And he came from the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant. And, AJ and Kevin Durant got a good relationship. So that's why he went to BYU. Got you. I didn't know that. Right. Yeah. So then we got number 4, Alabama versus Texas Tech. Or did we even talk about the Michigan game? Michigan and St. Louis. Let's talk about that. Michigan, they should be able to win this game. St. Louis, though, I was very impressed with what they did to UGA. UGA is not Michigan, though. And I think Michigan to give them a fight, win this game. But St. Louis, they was impressive the other day. They got the big kid they call Milk Chamberlain. He got several different names. He's like that's the kid with cream with your boy. Right, him, right. Okay, he's on St. Louis. I didn't know which team he was on. So he got a little buzz right now.
I think St. Louis is going to compete,
That's
but
the
Michigan,
Cherokee Parks to be or something, man.
right. Robbie, his name is Robbie Avila or something like that.
Yeah. So we got Texas Tech and Alabama, number 5 and number 4. Who you liking that one?
I'm gonna go Alabama. This is gonna be that spread is about right. I like Alabama. Alabama's there. That to me is a little better than Texas Tech, and they're gonna pull that one off.
I feel like Alabama, ever since Avery Johnson was the coach, they became Avery Johnson didn't really make a great thing in the tournament or whatever, but he kind of got the program a buzz.
He got it a buzz a little bit. He got Colin Sexton there.
Right.
Once again, you get the right guy, an Alabama coach, Nate Oates.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Oates was a high school coach.
Wow.
For a lot of years.
For a long time. Yeah, I know that name.
Right. And I think he's from New York or Michigan, but he got Alabama. Dig with him. He recruiting. He good enough.
He knows it.
Right.
Yeah, so you said you like Alabama in that?
Yeah, I like Alabama. It's gonna be a close one. I like Alabama to pull that one out.
Tennessee, number 3 Virginia versus number 6 Tennessee. Tennessee is actually favored.
Yeah, I like Tennessee. Yeah, I like Tennessee.
You like Tennessee?
One.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Tennessee. I think I want to see how Nate responds in this game, and I expect a solid performance from him. I don't expect maybe 25. I mean, he can do that, but if he can give you about 15 and 8, that's a solid game. They gonna need that from him in this game. They don't get a good performance from him in this game, they could be done. But I think he responds back and helps them win.
Nice. All right. So then the final game in that bracket I think that's tomorrow. Kentucky versus Iowa State. Number 7 Kentucky. Number 2 Iowa State. Iowa State is favored by 4.5. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Iowa State's a pretty good team this year. Kentucky's been up and down, as you can see. They almost lost to Santa Clara.
Word.
I'm interested to see how Kentucky responds from that game, and do they play it at a higher level. I actually got Kentucky beating Iowa State, but I like how Iowa State played in the first round, and I think they're gonna get past Kentucky.
Do you? I'm gonna take Kentucky. Maybe it's just me going with
the Blue Bloods.
Right, just Blue Bloods, the soul of Adolf.
Right.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Kentucky in that one. So yeah, man. So that is the second round. How do you want to do for you? You want to come back Sunday night after everyone's played, or Monday? What do you want to do?
The Sunday night games is probably gonna. You talking about tomorrow night?
Yeah.
It's
gonna be late.
The second round games, they end kind of late, so I don't know if you want to do something real late. I mean, I can do something like
no, we can do Monday. Monday's fine. We could just come back.
Yeah, we can do something Monday or Tuesday. That's cool.
Yeah. We'll be back Monday to review and go over these games that's going to happen today and tomorrow. I wanted to talk about to end it off. Wanted to give shout out to Mamaroneck. That was the team that Kingston lost to in the boys state championship state tournament, I should say.
Right.
Mamaroneck actually made it all the way to the Final Four. They played the Christian Brothers Academy up in Albany. They lost to Christian Brothers. We also played Christian Brothers. Christian Brothers 22-0, or now I think they're 24-0.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we only lost to them by 6 points. They came to Kingston. It was a hell of a game. I thought we was gonna give them their first loss.
Well, shout out to Kingston for they had a really good year. I know you've been excited about them all season,
Right.
And congrats on them being with Section 9 region champions. Is that correct?
Yep. Section 9 champions.
So congrats on that. That's a heck of an achievement. Just gotta keep building off of that.
Yep. And I mean, shit, we got of the starters, we're only losing 2 starters. And then we got 7 six players coming back from that.
Yeah, that's a good amount of experience returning.
Right. So
yeah, that's a good amount.
We could make a run at the States next year. I could definitely see that. So, shout out to great season for the boys, man.
That's what's up.
I loved watching them all year, man. And I meant to talk about that. It was hard, man, because I was so invested, and I didn't even really want to talk about it after we lost.
Right.
But it was a great season, man. Section 9 champs. I think we could win back-to-back next year. A lot of the teams lost a lot of seniors in the section. We're returning we're returning the player of the year, back-to-back player of the year. Matt Shep, he was Section 9 player of the year this year and last year, and he's returning for a senior year. We got a hell of a squad coming back next year.
So if they doing anything together in the summertime, that pretty much tells when you do something in the summer, and depending on how well you're doing something, that kind of tells you how your season is going to be during the fall.
You're saying like when they get together in like July and play with other teams and
in June. Out here it's in June. I'm thinking it's in June in New York too.
Yeah.
But you get with your high school team in June and
right.
You play in different camps and
right.
That kind of gives you a heads up. Like when my teams was going to be good, we had good summers. My teams was bad. We had bad summers.
I'll keep you posted. Because I'll be locked in, and my son he's gonna be going into his senior year next year. So
okay, cool. Sounds good.
He should be one of the guys. You know what I mean? The coaches love him.
Right.
He had a very good season for him. I just judging it as a parent and also just as a kind of a basketball analyst or whatever you want to call me, or post or whatever. I mean, he went from not really seeing a lot of time in the beginning of the year, and I went back and watched a lot of the games that I had him on, film or whatever, and like he wasn't getting a lot of time earlier in the season, but that just shows you,
right,
his commitment and the belief in the coaches from going to that, from being not really getting in the game till the crunch, like to the late time, and then making it to be the sixth man on the team, and playing most of the games. You know what I mean? Getting a good amount of time, and
the season is a journey, so things change, go up and down. Your minutes go down, or they go up. You just got to continue to go through the grind, and when your numbers call, make it happen.
Yeah, that's a fact. And so I was proud of what he did on, it's a big jump going from junior varsity to varsity.
Right.
And then, he seems like he's committed this year, this summer, I should say, to really getting better, getting bigger and stronger, and, just making that next leap for him.
Right.
I got to talk we'll talk off the camera, because I want to kind of run this AAU team by you and see what do you think about this. My wife is like, man, you need to go talk to your friend Drew. He knows what he's talking about. I listened to him on the show. You need to
appreciate your wife saying that.
I was like, I'm gonna talk to him, yada yada yada. So I mean, I really talk to you about, because I don't even
let me know. Just let me know, and
so enjoy the games today, y'all. This is definitely one of the premier sports times. I mean, we just had that World Baseball Classic, which was dope, and then we got March Madness going on. And, we'll be back, man. Like I said, let's shoot for Monday. And is there anything else you wanted to say before we get out of here?
No, I'm just hoping these next 2 days, the games are as good as the first 2 days.
Yeah.
And that's about it. We'll touch base on Monday. Get ready for the Sweet 16 and Elite 8.
All right. Salute to y'all, everybody that checked in with us. It's Trendy Debates. We out of here, man.
Right.
Yeah. Hey yo, they wanna downplay your progress. They a hot mess. Trust me when I say I'm not stressed. Hated, God bless. My main focus was scoping what they would plot next. Craving my attention, they noticed I pay a lot less. Don't get out of line, stay in lockstep. Son of niggas make them all wonder what day they pops left. Best believe that my recipes in the pot prep. The way it's chopped fresh when I'm cutting, they say I'm top chef. Already swept them, take out the mop next. I'm in the spot flexing, I'm probably got all my ops vexed. These cats should be modest, baby, they not threats. Say they got next and then drop and gave us a flop fest. This Knoxville is the problem, they ain't no contest. Whatever makes a rapper the hottest, I'm every box check. I'm in the building, I say that shit with a calm breath. No one, I just ran up inside the strap with a bomb fest.
Yeah, mic check, certified vet, ever since 9-6. Know y'all been waiting for this, like after prom sex. Bottom feeders don't want it with me, I'm a top rep. Police Academy looking niggas, you ain't cop yet. Album after album I left you, got the op press. Bezzy look like it's full of gravel, with a rocks kept. Pop fresh, myth like can't see me. Loch Ness, game in the chokehold, homie, guess we got next. This is black excellence, trust the process. Execs need to draft kings, we the top bet. No need to speak and beat, who needs the last words? They can catch